Okay, so one of the oldest saxophones I've had years and years up and playing and everything. This is a Buffet from France, pre-dyna action, pre-everything. So this is number 1,100 and a couple. I can't remember the last two numbers. Oh, it's right here. 1,182nd saxophone to come out of the Buffet factory. So that's pretty darn early. But it's amazing it doesn't look that much different than the ones they were making quite a bit after that. They didn't change a whole bunch. One of the best ideas they had, as like Busher and a couple other companies do this, is they mount the bell keys off the bell. So you can see they're hinged off the bell. So this bell can be off 20 degrees any direction and the horn will still play. As long as this linkage is still hanging on there on the back side, right there, and there, it'll still play as long as the bell is still on the horn. So not too bad. Real nice little pearls on all the little accents. Kahn did this on some of their models, but nice little pearl dots on all of them. It's got this little extra little vent key over here. If somebody can explain to me what that does, please put it in the comments, because I've been doing this for 100 years and I've got all these old saxophones with that key and none never understood. I think there's a way you can play E flat with a 1 and 1 down here or something crazy like that. But it does have the little G sharp key. And it's funny, some of them you have to hold the G sharp key down and then the key here will press it, or this one just goes right here. So instead of having to go with that poor little finger, you can trill it down there with a nice strong first finger. So it's just terrible trying to trill that. I've got a Holton that's got instead of trying to trill the D up here, it's got a key, a fourth trill key down here, where you can trill the high D, which is kind of fun too. But, how often are you going to use it? So, original lacquer, beautiful engraving on it, all the way down to the bow. Pads have been replaced at some point with a big metal resonator, kind of a China hatch style resonator that are screwed on. So I had to change one pad and I could just reuse that same resonator, which is kind of cool. You don't have to go with a different style resonator. So it's the 100% top to bottom. So somebody went to the care of completely overhauling this at one particular point. No idea. It's been in storage for maybe 10, 15 years as far as I know. Don't know the exact history, but I know I got it out of an estate of a bunch of horns that have been stored for over a decade at least. So the neck, really nice shape. I mean, all these old horns, I get the necks are always distorted. This one's really nice with a very nice artistic brace under here, very functional and kind of artsy craftsy the way they made it. Typical Buffet. And, the same guards they've been using, they've used these same guards for 100 years. They started in the 1800s making instruments, and I think about the late 70s they just started concentrating just on clarinets. And of course their R13 is just the standard of the world. It's like the Mark VI of the saxophone world. So anyhow, it's priced real cheap, cheaper than a brand new student model probably from overseas, and you get a nice French model with that beautiful French brass and French lacquer on it. It's just got a beautiful patina, and the lacquer is probably over 90%. There's no really big wear spots, just the usual little scratches on the side. And nothing too just basically superficial. Got the little button, sort of Selmer-esque, Busher-esque here, sort of like a cigar cutter type octave key mechanism on it. And, just the typical Buffet cable. You're going, instead of going this way to the B flat, you're going this way to the B flat. So it just takes a little getting used to. So nice and firm right down there. Kind of sub right down there. So put on the tuner. It's actually not bad for a horn of this vintage. Goes a little sharp on the top, which is pretty typical for most saxophones. But down, up and down the middle, it's pretty much green light the whole way. So rare to have the forked front F here on the horns this old. Most of the Cowns and Bushers didn't do that until the 30s or the 40s. And I'm guessing the serial numbers start in most of the Buffet serial list at about 2000 something. So this is half of that. And that was like in 1950. So I'm guessing probably 40s on this one. And again, the bell's never been damaged. Neck's never been damaged. The very bottom hasn't been damaged. So anyhow, this has had a pretty good life. And again, somebody took the time to overhaul the whole thing with pretty nice pads and just big monster, like 90% of the tone hole resonators. So it gives it a pretty good punch. The Buffets are kind of noted for their real mellow, non-projecting sound. The classical guys love them, especially the altos. And but this one does pretty good. Put a little metal mouthpiece on there. Again, that B flat's pretty fat. So the whole trick of most of these horns, especially the old ones, is the mouthpiece, and it's sort of like taking an old one-barrel carburetor, throwing a four-barrel on a little six-banger and really making the thing go. So with a stock mouthpiece, it'd be pretty soft and getsy, I would say. Not gutsy, but getsy. Just take a little getting used to it. I have to play it a couple of scales up and down just to hang out into that low table key. So anyhow, I'm going to play a little seasonal thing. It's almost there. I hate to talk about Christmas till after Thanksgiving, but it's only 2 days away, so what the heck. So we'll just get this going here. See if it'll run. So anyhow, that's pretty crazy. So this is going to go up for like $1,500, you know, for a pro horn. Even though it's an older one, it's still a great value. I mean, a little Bundy or a Yamaha or some, you know, over the seas made piece of beer can is going to run that much for a student model. So you can get a nice vintage sound horn, professional quality, made in France for that kind of a price range. It's pretty cool. So anyhow, there it is, number 1,182. I mean, that's a low serial number. So there you go. Beautiful shape, nice French lacquer, real straight. I don't think there's hardly a dent in it, not even up and down the sides. So anyhow, got to run. www.stevegraysaxes.com. That's STVEGRAY, saxes.com. Okay, happy holidays from the West Coast.